Great. Got it, thank you. All right, everybody, so you can sit on your blanket or your pillow. And maybe have your legs crossed. It could also be appropriate to have your legs in a butterfly shape if it's hard for you to cross, or to simply have your legs straight out. The biggest thing is that you can be somewhat comfortable. But I know this position is ironically not comfortable for a lot of people. It wasn't comfortable for me still really isn't actually. And take your hands and curl the hands in with the thumbs just kind of to the sides of the index fingers. And bring your hands together right at the, let's say, the base of the heart. Press the hands gently together, not super hard, and the pressure can come more from the outer fingers, so the thumb and the baby finger, and the outer sides of each wrist. So you're not actually pushing the bones together. That wouldn't feel too good. Just enough that you feel a sense of energy and firming around the musculature in the hands and the arms and even the shoulders and the chest. So there's a lot of talk in the yoga practice beyond just during springtime about this idea of blossoming open. And it's talked a lot about if you're familiar with the chakra system, we sometimes talk about opening up certain chakras or centers of awareness in the body, which correlate to different aspects of the self. Or we might talk about opening up to possibility or expanding into higher consciousness. So I wanted to explore that with you in our practice today. The idea of expansion always comes from a place of feeling extremely connected and rooted. So there's a step here that is often bypassed. It's going to be probably impossible to expand without some sort of foundation out of which to expand. And so you can look at an actual flower, for instance, and just see it spends some time in the soil, it develops roots, the bulb gets really kind of tight and fertile with the energy of expansiveness, right? Until the day where it just expands. And on a more subtle level, we could talk about the foundations that are required to expand our own consciousness. That the physical body has to be in good health, somewhat. The breath is intelligent. We understand how to manipulate the breath. And we understand how to work with the mind. So the mind is not just going here, there, and everywhere. It's rooted in a sense of presence. And so let's explore that on all of those levels in our practice today. With your hands and arms nice and firm, let's consider this the bulb of potential energy, fertile with the desire, the wanting to open up and expand into the greater vastness of consciousness or of our experience. And the inhale will be the instigator of those actions happening. So if you were to inhale and start to expand your hands open into this mudra, and when you exhale, curl them back in again. Inhale. Feel the breath perpetuating the opening of the hands. Exhale. The breath might take on a subtle whispering or ujjayi sound. You'll feel a strong expansion under the armpits, sideways through the rib cage. All of the extraneous energy of the mind, the thoughts, wherever you might have been or you might be headed, that all dissolves into the intent and the awareness of this specific mudra. Slight pauses at the bottom of each exhale. And one more time. Then you can clasp your fingers together and start to circle out the wrists, just like this, little figure eight position. And reverse the direction. You might hear some snap, crackle, and pops. This is nice to do during the day as well. Same tiny little movement. Then reach your arms out. The back of your hands can be facing away from you, so the palms are facing towards you. Drape the shoulders down. Don't push the shoulders down. Drape them down and then bring the head away from the shoulders. And now start to press forward even more. Then inhale into that space between the shoulder blades and the back. Exhale. Couple more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. The next inhale, lift your arms up. And on the exhale, round it down. Keep the head away from the shoulders, even if you want to tuck the chin in a little bit. Curling in, building a foundation. The inhale is the expansion out of the connection. Exhale. This time, flip your palms. Inhale. Good. Then bring the right hand to the floor. Left palm can face down. Directing the breath into the rib cage, in the waistline. Lower the left hand down and sweep the right arm up. Head away from the shoulders so the spine can stay long. Feel heavy through the left waist and the left hip. I think that's the foundation here, out of which you're expanding. Lower that down. Then sweep both arms up overhead. And clasp your fingers together and start to pump your arms up and down. You can have a soft bend in the elbows. This is good for the lymph, for the movement of the arms. And then circle your arms around. And reverse the circle. Good. And then lift both arms up. And we're going to go through a couple rounds of Bhastrika, or the bellows breath. Bhastrika pranayama. So I like to practice this with the arms, though you of course could have your hands resting down by your knees. And you want to proceed with caution, especially if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or issues with your breathing. You know it's not good for you to get your heart beating too fast, too quickly, or It's basically a controlled hyperventilation. So if that type of breathing is contraindicated for you, just go much slower. We won't do a lot of rounds, but just to get the gist of it. So you inhale through the nose and you reach high. And it's a strong exhale through the nose and you pull your elbows down. Inhale. It's kind of explosive in nature, this breath. Keep the chest expanding even as you exhale. So the root, the foundation is really lower in the body. 2 more. Okay, just rest for a moment with the eyes closed. Notice the pumping of the heart, sense of circulation is increasing. And we'll take 1 more round of that. Feel free to skip it, okay? I'll also offer you to go a little bit faster if you feel inclined. So here we go. Sharp, firm exhales and inhales through the nose. One more, and release. Close the eyes and feel. Present and ready to continue into the rest of your yoga practice today. You can open your eyes, and your next position is hands and knees. You could always have your blanket under your knees if you need some extra cushion. So move on to the fingertips on the left hand. See that the shoulders are stacked right over top of the wrists. Then move on to the fingertips of the right hand. Then lower the left hand down, followed by the right hand. Again, left fingertips, right fingertips, left hand, right hand. Hold here for a moment. Now let's give this movement a little bit more foundation. Start by sinking the space between the shoulder blades downwards. It's called shoulder blade retraction. You might even feel this dipping into the rib cage. Then start to push the floor away from you so you feel your middle back ribs inflating into the spine. I'm demonstrating that here. So it's not that I'm rounding into a cat pose, but I'm finding that connection, that fullness. And it'll happen a little bit between the shoulder blades as well. So let's consider that the root of this movement, even though the hands are what's on the ground. And the movement comes from that stability. It'll probably feel a little more challenging to start, but it will also feel more full and more connected. Like we're holding this space of that potential energy. Notice the tendency to lean back. Try to stay forward. A few more times. Okay. So the next time your hands are down, take them about 1 handprint or 1/2 of a handprint forward. And then keeping that fullness in the middle back ribs and between the shoulder blades, start to tip your weight forward. You feel a little stretch for the wrists and some weight being delivered to the fingertips. And then press back. You could have your toes curled under, so we're waking up the bottoms of the feet as well. And inhale, pull forward. exhale back. 2 more times. The next time you're forward, tilt each hand to the respective side. So the fingertips are pointing to the sides of the mat. Tip slightly forward, slightly back, and circle around a little bit. And then change the direction of the circle. From the center, close the wrists together. And if you need more balance, just bring your hands under the shoulders again. When you inhale, sweep your left arm out and up. And exhale, close it down. Inhale, open. So this is the expanding action. Exhale, close. That's the connecting into the foundation. We'll go to the other arm. Generally, the inhale is always on the expansion. As I said, it's the instigator. Good. Turn the hands forward and press it back again. Give your wrist a little bit of a break. You could point your fingers in like this and do a little stretch. Good. Forward. And now connect into the foundation, the middle ribs and the shoulders, and take your hands out and around. So out to their respective sides and around, as opposed to turning them inwards. And might need to walk the knees a little bit more up. So you start to lean back until the palms peel up off of the floor. Taking your time as you unpeel, and then you can take your hands together with the fingers clasped, sitting on the feet, and circle the wrists out again. Now, bring your arms out in front of you, and have your tailbone pointing down and the front ribs hugging in. So there's a sense of connection into the core, out of which we learn to expand. And you can make a fist with your hands and hinge back from your knees. There's this sense of the pelvis thrusting forward. Breathe. Okay, send it forward, arms go down. Again, breathing in. And exhale. One more time, breathing in. Really press your hips forward. You feel the butt kind of squeezing. And forward. Now take your right foot out in front of you into a knee down lunge, where the left knee is closer to stacked under the hip versus the hips being super sunk down. If you need, you can flatten your back foot. Bring the arms up. Now push straight down through your front heel, that's your right heel, and energetically slide it back. So you feel this isometric engaging of the bottom of the leg. And it's the same thing with your back leg. The back leg is trying to slide forward. Tailbone roots down, find the root in the ribs, full breath in, and as you exhale, open your arms out to cactus. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, cactus. Now inhale, shoot the arms forward, clasping the fingers and rounding the back. On the exhale, clasp the fingers behind and lift the chest. round, expand. One more time. Try and keep the pelvis very stable, but still find movement in the spine. Good. Now from here, wing your arms out to the sides and turn your body towards your right leg. So you're in a twist. On the inhale, tilt your back arm down and your front arm up. Full breath in. On the exhale, take a controlled cartwheeling of the arms. So let it be kind of a circle, the waist and the shoulder opening up into that. Lift up the back knee and step to a plank position. Toes and the wrists hugging in towards each other, from front to back, side to side, and corner to corner. Then tips slightly forward and slightly back. You could do this with your knees on the ground as we did earlier. And back. Forward and back. Step your feet about a half footprint forward and press up to your first downward facing dog. Bend and stretch the knees, the elbows, move the head yes and no. Drop into your own breath. Maintaining that sense of fullness in the middle back. There's a sense of foundation and a container for the energy that we're building up in the practice. You can touch the knees down, flatten the feet, and come to a child's pose, sweeping the arms down by your heels, resting on your forehead or one side of your face. One breath in through the nose, and you can exhale through the mouth. Then you can slowly roll up or hinge up, one vertebra at a time. Bring the arms out in front of you and press your hips forward. Breathe as you hold so you're on the diagonal. Sit tall. Inhale. Keep breathing as you hold this. Exhale. Inhale. Got a cramp. And exhale. Now take your left foot forward. The right knee is stacked under the hip and you're hugging strongly the legs together, front to back and side to side. Sweep the arms up. Breathing in. On the exhale, cactus arms. Connected to the root. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now clasp the fingers and round. And extend. Keep the fingers behind you. You might need to reverse the breath at some point. Try to keep the legs working. That stability in the pelvis so that the spine can be mobile. Last one. Breathing in, you can open your arms out and twist towards your left leg. Then drop the back hand slightly down. Depending on the length of your arms, you might be able to get in contact with something, but it's not really important. And lift up. Full breath in. And on the exhale, cartwheel the arms down, up and over. Enjoy that. Lift up your back knee and step into a plank position. Long and strong at the top. Head is moving away from the shoulders. The tailbone is pointing straight back, but your hips aren't pushing down, right? The hips stay high and the tailbone wraps. Then step a little bit forward and press it back to downward facing dog. Drop into the breath. From here, if you need more support, you can lower your left knee to the floor at any point. Take a hamstring curl with your right leg so the heel goes towards the bottom and lift the glutes, lift from the glute, the thigh higher, and open your hips up a little bit. From the center of your hip joint, start to circle your thigh within the hip. Try to keep the joint cushioned with space. Reverse the circle. Then, bring your knee up and in and step your right foot forward. Spin your back heel down and open your stance into a warrior two shape. You might not be able to see my face, so kind of just a little bit cut out. And the right knee is tractioning with the second and the third toe on the right foot. Keep pressing down through the front heel and pulling it back, just what we did in knee down lunge. When you exhale, the palms facing to the respective side, straighten your front leg and press. Then inhale and open. We're mimicking this idea of collecting energy inwards and then expanding. One more time. Good. A little bit deeper. Cross your right forearm over the top of your right thigh. Take your left hand to your left hip. Now bring your awareness to that rib cage area again. Spray around here and bring that in towards the spine, even if it feels a little bit constricting in the beginning. It'll almost feel like, say, like a muscular corset, sometimes it's described. Then start to expand with the inhale, turning the chest open, and then bringing the left arm up and over the ear. Again, head away from the shoulder. On your inhale, come back to warrior two. Slightly reverse it. Just as you did earlier, cartwheel the arms out, down, and around, swiveling into a standard lunge. We're going to stay in this standard lunge for a moment. You'll place your left palm down, and on the inhale, start to turn your chest to the right, lifting up the right arm. Try to keep your right outer glute wrapping straight down. It's easier said than done. Then when you inhale, start to straighten the front leg and take the arm down, and then bend the knee and open the arm again. So that would actually be the exhale, where you straighten and lower the arm, and you inhale, you bend. So a block under the left hand could be helpful here. At the end of the day, just try to do what works, what feels right for you. These movements should relatively make sense, or they'll make sense soon. Good. So touch the right hand down and step it to plank pose. long and strong. Stay connected. If you practice vinyasa yoga, you might start noticing that potential energy or that desire, that spark to go through a vinyasa, and I want to encourage you not to do it yet. Right? We're just kind of building up the energy to that explosive blossoming action. So just wait until the time is right and press it back. Downward dog. Drop into your breath. You can always rest. You'll float your left leg high, option to lower the right knee to the floor if you need more support. Open the hip. And from the center of the hip, circle out your leg. And reverse. Okay, step it forward. Spin your back heel down. I'll demonstrate this from the back side so you can see the alignment differently. Left knee is tractioning the second and the third toe. And the arms out to the sides. It's like you're drawing a triangle from your heel straight back under the tailbone. Breathe into the container. When you exhale, press your palms in front, straighten. Inhale, open. Next time you're there, hold. Tip forward from the hip crease and cross the left forearm over the thigh, right hand to the hip. So instead of this disconnected arch, fill up into the middle back and then start to turn the chest open. Stay there or sweep up the right arm. Again, head lengthening away from the shoulders. Come on back to warrior two. Staying connected, flip up the left palm and tip the scales in the other direction. Cartwheel the arms down, swivel into a standard lunge. Now place down the right palm, stay connected, turn your chest to the left. The left glute is dropping straight down. Start to straighten the front leg, coordinating circles with your top arm. And reversing the circle. One more time. Lower the left hand down and step to plank. Long and strong. Keep pressing the floor away from you. Becoming buoyant and light. Breath continues to be steady. Swivel both heels to the right and lift up your left arm. Option to lower the bottom knee like this. Maybe take the top arm up by the ear. Okay, lower the left hand down down, swivel it over to the other side. Again, option to lower the bottom knee. Lower the right hand down, touch the knees down, and press it back with the toes curled under. Then you're going to inhale from this connected place. It's kind of explosive in nature, but still controlled. You're going to shoot forward to plank. And then exhale, press back. Inhale. Exhale, one more time. Inhale. Now lower the knees, chest, and chin. Press the pelvis down and flip the toes under. Root down through the hands and through the ribs on the inhale. Curl up into cobra or upward dog. Feel what it's like to hold here and expand from your rooted connection. The breath instigating the expansion from the inside, just like the lotus mudra, the blossoming open in the heart. And slowly lower it down. You can lift up to your hands and your knees and press back to child's pose. Now inhale to your hands and your knees and take your left leg straight back. Pick up your left leg, point the foot, and send it behind you, beyond your right foot, until it touches the floor. Sweep the left arm up. So it looks similar to that modified side plank, except your top leg is back more now. And then sweep your arm up by the ear. So stay here or connect in and take your right foot forward with a slight bend. So you're in this wild thing variation. Opening through the heart. If you'd like, you could bend both knees. Root down to rise up. Keep the bottom knee on the floor in that first variation if you need to. So from here, we're just going to lower the hips straight down. Good. Left leg straight. Take your right foot over the top of the left thigh. Wrap your left arm around the right leg and twist. On the inhalation, you can uncross the foot, roll it over to your hands and your knees. You head to the other side. The right leg going back and past. Turn the chest and lift the right arm. So you're staying here is variation 1. Next option is to pick up your left foot, the variation of wild thing. Or maybe to bend both knees, almost in more of a wheel pose shape, upward facing bow. Root down to rise up, feel the explosive blossoming open from the heart. And lower the hips straight down. Then take your left foot across. Right arm wraps over the left leg and twist. On the inhalation, slowly untwist, coming back to your hands and your knees, with the toes curled under and sitting up tall. Now let's apply that to a couple more back bends. Starting with a variation of Ustrasana, you can take your hands to your lower back with the fingers pointing down, or if you have the flexibility in your wrists, to have your fingers pointing upwards. Just as we did earlier, there's this idea of the hips thrusting forward. There's a strong foundation from this whole region so that the chest can start to blossom open. Abs strongly pull in, you can sit up tall. We'll take one more. So you can stick with that variation. Some of you might be able to drop your hands down. You just want to make sure that you're connected as you do this. You're not losing your foundation to blindly expand. Nothing to bring you back. Breathe. And sit up tall. You can sit down. With your hips off to the side, take your right shin bone in front of you and your left thigh bone behind you. And tip your weight forward, so you're actually going right in front of the shin for a variation of pigeon pose. Walking that up, and then twist your body towards your right and lower the elbows down. Breathing in, slowly lift up. And take your left leg out and around. Right leg swings back to a peace pose or a deer pose. And tip forward, right out in front of the shin bone. Breathing in to sit up, turn, walk forward. Breathing in, slowly rise up and straighten both legs out in front of you, sitting up on your blanket, your towel. Fingers down, so that's the rooting down and the expanding open. It's not too much that you would just keep going in that direction, right? There's always this sense of your home base. You start to curl into yourself and fold. Have your hands to the floor or your knees bent if you need some more support there. Don't want to feel like the back is straining. Head lengthening away from the shoulders. Start to make your exhales a little bit longer. Slowly rise up using the support of your hands, lifting up your chest. You can scoot your hips forward and come to lie down on your back. Take your knees from side to side. If there's any other posture that your body's asking you to take, you're welcome to do that right now. Otherwise, we'll extend the legs forward towards the corners of the mat, the palms face open, and the eyes closed. We surrender completely, absorbed into the moment, connected and anchored. And in doing so, the consciousness has the opportunity to expand beyond the surface of your skin. The consciousness can expand and embrace the breath, the emotions, the mind. The room in which you're practicing, the country, the entire world, the entire universe, all from your home base. And start to call your attention back home, yet remaining one step connected to whatever else you expanded into. You can wiggle the toes and the fingers. Placing your hands over your heart as you slowly make your way over to your side and you come up to a seated position. With the palms of your hands together and a soft gazing or gesturing into that place with the head. In the final inhale of practice, you could expand open your lotus and bow down in honor and acknowledgement and gratitude. Thank you for practicing with me this morning, and I hope to see you soon. To your own innate perfection, Namaste. Have a great day, everybody.